All right, everybody. So I'm back. I'm trying to get these out earlier this week. We have a lot to cover, and I might have gone a little overboard because, of course, as we all know, the tutorial that we were told to follow and a lot of the literature we're giving isn't really helping us much. So it sent us on a wild goose chase. I'm not sure where everybody else is at, but I've taken this much time to figure out a couple of different methods to accomplish the goal, to include the spline path follow um, as we were supposed to do it. But along the way there, I figured out this other way too, so I figured I'd show you both. To leave off, of course, this is week 3. We did the ball. I also covered how to switch possessions. And finalize, we had the ball. If you notice, I did get rid of a lot of the debug stuff. Well, but let's get right started. First thing I'm going to do is quickly do some preliminary work for this. I have an idea as to how I want this to be, so we're going to give it a whirl. This is just something I've been playing with in my head. I haven't really done anything with it yet. All right, everything should be at 90 degrees. All right, so what I'm doing is essentially making it, well, we're going to have a lot of AI. So what I'm doing is making sure the AI has room to go. And if I'm right at all, it'll kind of be pretty cool. I do try to have fun with these as well as get the assignment done. It makes it entertaining. All right, as you can see, I need to pull this down. Let's get sky high. Might have to fine tune that in here. I want to call that good enough for city work. All right, good enough. So where was I? Oh yeah, AI. A couple things we have to do in order to get this all to work. I will start right off by adding a couple of classes, and then we're going to come back into the editor and hopefully get things going the way they should be. I was kind of thinking it might be a good idea. Notice it doesn't let you make a folder. Just thought it'd be nice to have another one, guys. Jeez. All right, new class. This one here is going to be a character. We'll call it enemy cyborg. We'll wait for that to create. We're not going to actually do anything with this. I just wanted a bare bones AI character to work with. So we're just going to literally close that out. The next thing we're going to do is, well, while we're here and we're thinking about it, we can make the blueprint class from it. BP underscore enemy cyborg. And make sure we put it in the right folder. Create. All right, so what we're going to do is just give it the normal mesh and AI that we've been messing around with here. Drop him down, spin him, grab the handles, spin him around. We're good with him for now. Well, there is one more thing we should do, right? Let's go ahead and create another mesh. We're going to duplicate this one. Black, but it's not really black, and you'll see why. I'll show you. If you come all the way down and you raise all these up to the max levels, like so, and you come all the way to black, it'll do a flat black hole-ish looking black, which goes against my metallic. So all you have to do is come up a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, really. and you end up with the black that I like. Save. All right, we're going to make sure that's selected. Come back over to our character, go to the materials, compile, save, and close. All right, so he's good for now. We can even put a couple of them out here for now, I suppose. One, and we'll put one up here. Nah, we'll put one over here. All right, perfect. The next thing we're going to do is give it a brain. This is method 1, guys. Method 1 for this is going to be target points. So come down here, actually, AI controller, which is right here. And we're going to call this AI cyborgs. And when we get into here, it's actually a pretty simple AI system, so it shouldn't take us too long. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is mess with the header file. We'll give some space and separate them out so you can actually see which ones I'm adding. Some of these are kind of long, but I find it is better to type them out than to find a shortcut for it. And, good old IntelliSense kind of helps. So there's the target points. We're going to need Kismet. Of course, we're going to need engine, a .h. There we go. And the last one we're going to need is a little way to do some math. All right. So those are our header files. We can actually come down here now. You know what? Let's go ahead and build it, because if the program doesn't recognize this, it'll start giving us a lot of weird errors and glitches. So it's a good idea just to build it right off the bat so it can start adding those libraries in for us. And when that's done, we're going to go ahead and start right away. All right, so here we go. That's finished. So we're going to do a public category. We're going to have a private category, and then we're going to have another public. All right, now we can start entering some stuff. The first one's going to be a U property. And this is actually going to be an array. And the array is going to be an array of actors, which I bet you can guess what these are. All right, then from here, we're actually going to use a timer. And from here, we're going to go to a U function. This is going to be an A target point. All right, so this first method, I'm actually going to show you how to first, well, actually, I'll show you both of them all at the same time. We're going to have two different methodologies to be able to do this. We can set it up with a fixed target path or a random target path that the AI will send the character all over. So the first couple things we're setting up right now is for the random. And now the next two are going to be, actually the one is going to be the same as that one, except we're going to go ahead and just take out this and go next. So it's not going to go random to a random point, it's just going to go to the next point. All right, so the next thing we're going to need is a couple of variables. Two of them are going to be private and one will be public. The first two will be int values. The first one is going to be used to keep track of what the current waypoint is. And the second one is going to keep track of the size of the array. All right, so now we're going to come down to the, actually, all of these belong here. And we forgot the two most important. Begin play, and we're going to override it. And then a void on move completed. And this one does have some parameters we have to put in. All right, now we can continue down to our last one, which is a U property, and it's going to be edit anywhere. This will be a property that we'll need to be able to set from the editor, which is going to be a Boolean. B is path random. And by default, it's going to be set to false. All right, now with that all being said, well, this one, for some reason, doesn't like to go ahead and set, but we'll go ahead and set these ones up. All right. So now, with that being said, we'll go over to the CPP, and we'll start entering in what we're going to need here, starting with the override function for begin play. Super begin play. And now what we're going to do is grab our target points. To do that, we're going to use gameplay statics, get all actors of class in the get world. And now we got to tell it what we're going to get. We're going to get a target point static class. And now we're going to tell it where we want it to put it. And we're going to put it into our T-array waypoints. IntelliSense hasn't picked up that that's a thing yet. Here's the thing, right? Yep, we're right there. It'll catch up, I promise. All right, so here what we're going to do is immediately go to next waypoint to get it going. He'll get the ball going. Another thing we're going to go ahead and do up here will be to, now that we have gotten our waypoints, what we're going to do is set up our variables. All right, so now we have our count, we have this. You know what, let's go ahead and build it, see if we can get rid of some of these things. I've always found you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself and start typing everything in without doing a build. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here trying to figure out what went wrong when it went wrong. And, see? All right, so what I did is here I forgot to put that in. Now it should build fine, and that actually got rid of a lot of the stuff. Yeah, and we just haven't finished this one yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that one now. All right, so there that is. And now what we can do is continue on. This here was going to be where we do our toggling to move. Every time we get done moving, this will fire off. It's kind of like a tick. All right, so essentially what this is going to do is setting a world timer of which it's going to, it's kind of in reverse order. So what it basically is doing here is it's setting a timer that's going to go off for every 3 seconds. It's going to wait, but when that 3 seconds is up, it's going to fire off this function. Now we're going to also have an else here, and you guessed it, it's going to fire off the next. All right, so there we have that. It's either going to go to a random location or it's going to go to a set path. So now we can start plugging in the randomer. Yep, that's an official term. Auto index equals a math function. And this math function is going to be a random number generator, and it's going to give us a number in between a range. That range is going to be from 0 to waypoints.num, which is a way of figuring out how many values there are in our array. And we're just going to take that down by 1 because this is 0 based. Instead of null pewter, we're going to do a cast. And we're going to cast this as a target point. And we're going to do that to the waypoints index. Just double check my code here, make sure we're good. It looks like we are. One way to find out, we'll go ahead and build, see if we've gotten any errors. Looks like we got one error. Oh, forgot this. Now we can build it, and I'm sure that'll go fine. Again, for some reason, this is giving me a hard time. I did this in my trial run too. I can assure you it is good to go. So I'm going to continue on because these last two are really small. Well, at least this one is. We're going to move to actor, and it's going to be the get random. Did I misspell that over here? Get random waypoint. Get random waypoint. There we go. Mistype that. So essentially we're going to, bring that right on down. Get a random waypoint. Close it off, and that is that function right there. Nice, simple, and easy. Now we can come down to this one. Not so easy. We'll try to steal as much code as we can to save some time. And this here is actually going to be just plain old waypoints. And what we're going to use for this is the current waypoint index that we created before. We also got to add some other stuff here so we can iterate through. We already started it from this here. We're going to need this. We'll bring that down, and what we're going to do is increment first. So we just remember to do that, right? Easy way to incrementing. Now what we're going to do is go ahead, and this is kind of a test. We'll see if it breaks. If it does, well, I'll go back to what I know. But we're going to call this the cycle. Yeah, it likes it. We're going to go for it. All right. And what we're going to do with this actually is we can set it up right now. So what we're going to do is take our, make sure I get this in the right order, our current index and modulus in with our WP index. What this will do is it will always make sure we have a number between the min and the max of our objects. Maybe I'll do that as a debugger. I don't know if I want to risk it. I ain't got much time here. So what we're going to do now is the if statement procedure then, which is going to be current index greater than or equal to waypoint index minus 1. All right, so as long as we're within range of what our array is carrying, we're good. This won't be carried out. But the minute that our index, our current index, exceeds or matches, we're going to go ahead and reset these current waypoint index numbers to the base of 0. It makes it so we're always going to continue. The AI is just not going to stop. We're going to try to build this, see if we get any errors. This one's being persistent. There we go. That's why. It was all sorts of typos. Let's try to build that one more time. All right, perfect. That was a success. So we're going to come over here. We're going to take and make a blueprint of it. And we're going to actually need, let me think, am I going to need two? Yep, I am. So this one, we're just going to get rid of the S and call it fixed path. We'll put it just in our main content. We'll create a folder afterwards. All right, and the reason why we're going to make two is this one's going to be the fixed. So just to show you that variable we made, what would we call it? B is random. We're going to leave that alone. Compile, save, go to our content folder. Let's go ahead and make another folder. We'll call it blueprint. We're going to go ahead and move that in there. And now that we're in there, we're going to duplicate it. Random path. And this one, we're going to do just the opposite. So this one we are going to change to random path. All right, so we have our one guy in there right now. We'll come in and we'll grab another one. Oh, I already had him. There he is. He was hiding. We'll bring him over here. All right, so the first thing we have to do, well, not the first thing. Let's grab a target point. Put that just about anywhere. And what we're going to do is make duplicates of it. All I'm doing is hold the Alt key up and down. Put one over here, just for funsies. The only thing with the way we're doing it is you want to make sure you put them in the world in some form of order. Otherwise, for the fixed path, it'll be kind of crazy. All right, so there's that. It still will not work. There is one more thing we do have to do. So we'll come back down here, and that is the Navmesh Bounds volume. Try doing it without this, and you'll get as frustrated as I was. All right, so get it here, and then just grow it along. All right, and because I am, if you push P, you can see the green. I'm going to get it up and around the top of these things. Okay, so you want to make sure everywhere you're going to have people or objects walking around that they can have a green layer on there. I think it's fair to say I got it. I don't want them walking off the edge. So we're going to go with that. All right. P again. Now this guy here, B is, oh, sorry. This is AI controller. We're going to put him to, we'll say fixed. And we'll take him and put him to random. So with any luck, compile, save. And let's go ahead and play. And there they go. This guy again is going to go all random. Oh, he's going to steal the ball. Stolen! And then, of course, the other guy over here is just going in a fixed path that we already gave him. He's just going to keep going in the same pattern over and over again. All right, so there's the first way. Now, the second way. However, I do think that's a good break for this video. So what we're going to do is break this one off, and I will have another video put up directly after.